Thank you very much, Pinky. That was Pinky Didier. Like I said, what we're going to do, folks, those Can I Help You fans, when it's your birthday, call me and I will give you 2 minutes of fame. And whoever is asking me, Albert Fridges is right here. He is here with us tonight, but he deferred to giving Pinky 2 minutes, at least for persons who don't know her. She's always under the live. They don't know her facially. She's here. We are in for a good show. Good night. Anybody want to shout out quickly before you leave?
Greer Cruz, Mafa Eugene, Thea Joseph, and all Can I Help Us. Good night.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, folks, we're getting right into it, and Pinky will be leaving us right now as we focus on the issues that we will be delving in today. And I can tell you, rest assured, you will be in for a very, very, very good show. We have a compact show. We have a show filled with information, some of them even surprises, if you want to call them that. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy as we proceed in doing what we do best, dissemination of information. All right? So Albert has now taken his seat. And, you know, one of the things with Albert, he always does that. If he believes you should enjoy the spotlight for 2 seconds, he will permit you to have your 2 minutes of fame, as he permitted Pinky to do. Good night, Albert.
Good night, Richard.
How are you?
I feel pretty good.
Because also, you got a prison, Jody, yeah? I suspect say I'm a wiki for ça. Qui ça work Val fait Amérique?
No. The secret, Richard.
Qui ça work Val fait Amérique?
My guy do work. If I never perfect Amérique. I've returned to my walking.
Okay.
Right? And I'm eating a little better as well.
Eating everything a little better. Now, my dear, I'm not question. I'm like, so can you say papi show?
No, can't say papi. But no, I'm doing some different things lately, Richard.
Yes, nice.
So nice. I'm trying to look 25 again.
All right. Lyra asked me to wish Caden, President, our grandnephew, advance birthday greetings. Coming from his aunties, Lyra and Joyce, and grandmother Bob. Birthday is on Saturday, and he will be 13. 13. Okay, Peter Samuel, the best plumber on the planet, employee of Wasco. Peter Samuel, your birthday is on Saturday. So, you know, happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday. You are indeed a good man. You are a man who lives up to your expectation. And obviously, when people do that, you'll understand that the work will flow. It will flow, Peter Samuel. Happy birthday. We must see on Saturday, and we will meet on Saturday somewhere, somehow. Frances, yes, I will announce after the break. Your unique way, your business. I definitely will do that. Karen, I understand you are locked on. You are locked on. Good night to you. Good night to Pages over in New York. And that's Karen over in the United States as well. So, good night. I sure uba goes out, yeah. I sure wait to listen to you. Nukaibali, I sure, Nukaibali. Alvin Sewak, good night to you. Good night. Felbert, that is very, very good. He was part of the delegation to the UN where Honorable Albert delivered a powerful address. It was quite an experience, Felbert James says. Very, very good, my brother. And it's high time we take those ordinary St. Lucians and make the best of them. Right now, the name St. Lucia is enjoying respectability globally, and we should capitalize on that respectability. Capitalize on it. However, we cannot put the name of St. Lucia to shame. Those of you who want to associate with criminals to bring St. Lucia down, we will denounce that, not only by thought or expression, but also in the ballot boxes, because that name, St. Lucia, the only island in the world named after a woman, it is doing great things, and you all will not cause it to go down the drain, I could tell you that. Julian Charles, Keisha, good night. Glenda, good night to you. Good night. So yes, folks. I feel really, really good tonight. I feel good. Why do I feel good? I feel good because no matter how much or no matter how many attempts the Hakalaks or the Flabo Zelevs try in their total desperation to undermine the good work of this government, that is simply not working. It's not working. Nothing they say or do resonates with the electorate. Nothing they say or do is sticking, because it is a fact. It is a fact that can be substantiated by data, empirical evidence, data collection, that the government is doing extremely well. And it is doing so well that people are feeling the positive impact of the policies that this government rolls out one after the other. So when Shasta would have said that the 2.5% health and security levy is a burden on St. Lucians, you all remember he said so? Just after he said so, HTS conducted an E-Poll. HTS conducted an E-Poll, and each and every person interviewed agreed with the imposition on the 2.5%. There was one caveat: use the money for the right purpose. So whatever he says, oh, that's a burden to St. Lucians. St. Lucians got it. Papa le bamwe. Don't speak on our behalf, speak on your behalf. When the National Housing Corporation sold the land to buy a building to have its own office, something that had never happened for 58 years. 58 years, folks, the National Housing Corporation has been in existence, had been in existence. And from the inception, they have been renting. They have been renting premises. Today, under my stewardship, and I thank the Almighty God for that, because it adds to the legacy. Under my stewardship, the NSC owns a $3.5 million property, which is debt-free, which is totally debt-free. So when Chasney decided to call the sale of the land, the proceeds of which were used to purchase that building, he decided to call it a scandal. You know, and he'll call anything he does not agree with a scandal, just to blow it out of proportion. There is a scandal. When he called it a scandal, HTS again took to the streets, and HTS interviewed a number of people and asked for their opinion on the sale of that land and using the proceeds to buy the office. The HTS E-Poll essentially told Shasta, stop talking nonsense. Stop talking nonsense. Each and every person interviewed, every one of them agreed that the sale of the land, the sale of the land was necessary for NSC to acquire its own assets, its own home, you know. So every piece of crap that this man spews, everything he wants persons to latch onto and call a scandal and this and that, everything he does, the people of this country refute it categorically by 100% to zero. So whatever he says is from his vantage point alone, he does not speak on behalf of the majority of St. Lucians. Then he came running around saying, the country is doing badly. We're in a mess. We're in a mess. That's what Shasta said. Because he's trying desperately to create a certain degree of anxiety, a certain degree of instability, a degree of concern that would translate into support for himself and his United Workers' Party. But when he said the country is doing badly, the ECCB, and that does not translate to ECCB operating as an agent of the current government. The ECCB released data not only for St. Lucia, but for the entire ECCU, the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. For the entire union, the data was not in relation to St. Lucia in isolation. But obviously you can extrapolate and you take the data that references St. Lucia. And when Chasney would open his mouth and say that the country is doing badly, the data of the ECCB flies in his face and categorically refutes the nonsense that he spews in relation to our country and its economy. The ECCB said, that St. Lucia has the largest economy in the Eastern Caribbean Union. The ECCB said so. The ECCB said St. Lucia's unemployment rate is at its lowest on record, 11.4%. The lowest unemployment record on record, 11.4%. Pamakidi. They went on to say that our economy in this country is performing the best in the union. Now, I will pause there to say they didn't say that one. But in 2016, when Chasney took over this country, we were the best in the ECCU. Our economy was the best. He took it at the best in 2016 and dropped it at the worst in 2021. And you know, during that period, COVID hit the entire world. But St. Lucia's economy suffered the third largest contraction in the world. The third largest. 24% our economy shrunk by. 24% under the hands of Alan Chasney. You know? The ECCB has credited the government, not me. Probably if it was me saying it, I would say we grew by 10 million %. But the ECCB has credited the government of having 3 consecutive years of over 3% growth. Folks, we never had that kind of economic performance in the last 32 years. We last enjoyed that up to 1992, when our bananas were given protection on the European market. So for the last 32 years, we have not had 3 consecutive years of growth. But Philip J. Pierre came in, and in the first 3 years, we enjoyed that kind of growth. In the 4th year, this current year, at the end of this financial year, we are projected to grow by 7% according to the ECCB. And at the end of the next financial year, they see growth at 4.5%. Those are not my projections. They are not the projections of Philip J. Pierre and his cabinet. They are not the projections of the civil service in this country. They are the projections of the umbrella body. The umbrella body that watches over all the economies within the ECCU. And so, you know, as I indicated last week or week before, Chasney's best growth performance for 5 years he was prime minister. His best growth performance was 3.4%. That would be Philip J. Pierre's worst performance. Ko Chasney fait plus meilleur 5 l'année. C'est ko Philip J. Pierre fait plus mauvais That means toute l'autre l'année, Philippe J.Pierre, ça fait, il était trop primaire, parce que primaire, Chasney était ça fait. Chasney's best was Philip's worst. And you want to tell me the country is not doing well, Chasney? You want to tell me it's time to take back which country and give whom to do what to bring us in reverse? No way, sir. No way, sir. The figures are clear. They are unequivocal. And they tell one story that Philip Joseph Pierre is a much better manager than Chasney. You know, much, much better. They cannot be compared. And if you are saying that this country is doing badly, far less when you were prime minister, far less when you were prime minister, y'all were gloating about, are you all crazy? Are you all crazy? I mean, some of you are deliberately pretending you all can read and write, but the data is there. The data that drives the economy is there for all and sundry to see. It's not there for Labour. It's not there for Flabo. It's not there for any undecided voter. It is there as empirical evidence that substantiates how well the country was being managed. Last term versus this term. That's what it shows. And anybody, like a tourist would do research on a country, on several countries, before making a final determination as to which country they should go to on their vacation, bearing in mind all the exigencies, bearing in mind the logistics, closeness to home, cheaper vacation, all of those things. Then they come up with a country of choice. If anybody can read the data, can go through the data and make a comparison, it is not about going on the boulevard and say, yeah. No. Back up what you see. When I hear they say they have intelligent people and put in fake profiles and say an engineer or quantity surveyor with zero qualifications, back up what you say with evidence. Back it up with evidence, not the evidence that man say you will not pick up and play it up at the Sasha here. Back it up with empirical data and evidence. Back it up. And I'm saying that the country right now is being much better managed. There is no comparison between Chasney's management and that of Philip Joseph Pierre. The country is on a right trajectory, and Philip J. Pierre is not manufacturing or creating new finances. It is using the money wisely, because when I hear Chasney say, and the guys are wasting money, I say to myself, me say, Nietzsche, this man needs to do some introspection. Wasting money. We are enjoying that kind of economic growth because we're not putting money in one person's pocket. We're not telling that one keep 24 million. We're not taking pensioners' money and give to foreigners. We're not telling T.O. King sell passports and hold the money. We're not taking money and save for vaccine. We're not paying rent 32 million. We never pay anybody to do our budget over 50 million and run. So all those monies that were wasted are filtering into the economy through the policies and programs rolled out by the government. And therefore, the ultimate result is economic growth. But Chasney wouldn't know that. He wouldn't know that. You know, imagine the ECCB is so impressed with St. Lucia that they are saying, based on the trajectory they are seeing, that the country's GDP, now GDP is gross domestic product, is the sum total of all goods and services produced in the country. C'est qu'on a mis $1 valeur, elle est tout bagay qui a fait cette liste, tout monde qui a travaillé, elle est tout bagay qui a produit. They are saying, if we continue how the management of the country is at this time, in 10 years, we can double the economy. Why would they say that? Why would they say that if they believe that we are doing badly? And so, folks, before I let Albert have his chance to address you all on this one. I am saying to you, Shasni, the country is not going back. The country is making significant strides forward, as can be evidenced by the data, as can be evidenced by the lowest unemployment rate on record in history. The country is progressing, and so are the minds of our people. Don't believe we can fool the people all the time. The people have agreed, at least in the majority, that the country is doing well. And St. Lucia is in safer hands under Philip J. Pierre than it ever was under Alan Michael Shasny. Over to you on that one, Albert.
Well, Richard, what you've done is you've referenced data in all what you've said. And as you rightly said, Shasny tends to just simply see the country is doing badly. This is bad, this is not good. And I'm not referring to any data whatsoever. Just glibly saying those things. It's just rhetoric, right? But what we do know is that the country is doing well. But Richard, what for me was quite poignant in what you said was towards the end, when you said that it is projected that if the country continues on this trajectory, that in 10 years, the economy would have been doubled. Yes? Mm-hmm. Now, within that projected time, Richard, there will be, what, 2 elections?
Yeah, probably.
Quite likely 2 general elections within that projected time. Mm-hmm. And so we simply cannot afford to turn back to this man, Alan Shasny, who's damaged our economy so badly, damaged our country. It wasn't just the economy, The man changed the landscape. Look at what happened in Vieux-Fort, that DSH disaster. That DSH disaster, which has hit the people of Vieux-Fort. It's not just the people of Vieux-Fort, Entire St. Lucia. But because the people of Vieux-Fort are local in that entire debacle, right? He's hit them so hard. What is, Richard, seriously, you closer to the red meat than myself. What is our benefit? What is the benefit of the average St. Lucian in that DSH affair? Can you tell me?
What is our
benefit? The average St. Lucian, what does he benefit?
Nothing, Albert.
DSH?
You've asked me that before.
But I'll keep asking you.
But you'd be doing like those typical lawyers who'll ask you a question in cross-examination, they turn around down the line and ask you the same question, hoping to a different answer, and then say, I caught you in a lie. but there is no benefit to us, Albert.
None. No benefit. When you, as a prime minister of a country, you come in and the very first thing you do is go and sign, within 6 weeks of your victory, you go and sign, I exaggerate when I say half of Vieux-Fort, but it's quite a lot of land in Vieux-Fort. You just go and sign away.
The whole of Vieux-Fort, you forget there was a magazine, and the cover was the owner calling the man. And you see, that is where the magazine said, Theo Aking is the owner of Vieux-Fort. But that's not surprising. One of the zealots said the other day, the owner of St. Lucia is Shasny.
Yes.
So there is commonality in the ignorance of those people.
Yes. Because it's only, anyway, leave that one alone. The grounds, lifted Richard from grounds.
Yes.
Right? But honestly, Richard, I do not understand that. I suppose there's some certain similarities between what's going on in America, because I can understand that Trump even has a chance.
You understand what I'm saying?
And he does have a chance.
Yes.
And I do not understand that. Right? So here in St. Lucia, I do not believe that Alan Shasny can win the next general elections. But to even contemplate the thought that he could even do, because for him to even win 1 seat, because they've got 2. For him to win 1 seat, that means he would have done well,
Yes.
In my estimation. Because as far as I see it, next elections it'd be a 17-0. That's what it should be, or whatever. I don't know.
That's what it is.
Whatever, 0. That's what it should be. Barbados has done it how many times? Twice?
Twice.
Grenada did it twice?
Twice, yes.
Yes. So St. Lucia we can 17-0. And we'll appoint somebody to be opposition.
Leader of opposition.
Leader of the opposition. Go on the other side and talk against us.
Yes, if you want. Talk against us, but tell us what you're going to say before. Yes, and Albert, that is what the situation is. And when they paint the picture, They speak so much nonsense. They spew so much garbage that you wonder if those persons are living in a different world.
Yes.
Albert, say good night to your people.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, yes. Let me just say good night to a few people there. Jonathan and Hilda out in Fonse Jacques. Bonsoir. Philemon and his madam. Bonsoir. Again, that's Fonse Jacques. Angel Isaac. Good night. Cecilia Alain. Winston Louison Jenner. Now, Sister Louvi. Love Esther, Achibiri, all of these people up in the US. Bonsoir. Right, the Goldie George, bonsoir. Thea Joseph, Tekla Stanislas, Heidi Trick, Saltibus, good night. I will stop here, Richard. A little later, I will shout out a few more people.
Very well, very well. Vernon Casabo, good night to you. Good night to Martin and Rosella Monrose over in the UK. And whilst I'm in the UK, let me say good night to Team No Slip, Fabian, Makla, Delma, and all the others. Good night, good night. Trevor, good night to you. Dudu Darling Myro, a special good night. Ria Cruz, good night to you. Verona Leo, good night. Justina Jean, good night to you. Good night to Minal, the police officer. Minal, good night to you. The Andres, Bev is gone, but Rufus is there as the father, and so are the daughters. So hold strong. See you all guys pretty soon. Murky Xavier, good night to you. Bushin in New York. Joan Phil just has asked me to say hello. Rose Charles and the Indy family out of Swazel. They are extending birthday greetings to Rose. It's coming from the Charles family. So, birthday greetings to you, Rose. Master Wong, a special good night to you. Folks, St. Lucia is doing well on all fronts. There is absolutely no doubt about that. In that regard, I want to congratulate the St. Lucia Kings. I want to congratulate the St. Lucia Kings. I want to extend our gratitude to Darren Sammy, son of the soil, doing well as coach. And of course, Johnson Charles, who is now delivering the huge expectations that were placed on his shoulders.
The man is in an absolute purple patch.
Purple.
Yes,
he's on cloud 9, man.
Yes, the man is just...
It's beyond...
He's hitting the ball as if, well, okay, well...
As though he's a footballer. Yes. Although sometimes he outs foolishly, in my view. A lot of times, if Johnson... I mean, this is constructive criticism, Johnson, if you're listening. Like there was one time when Johnson, I almost cried. A ball was wide, way outside the off stump, and he went after it. And, he only managed a very thin contact. And he was out. Having left it alone, it would have been a wide.
The one that hit me was when he could have carried his bat. Right? You know what it is to carry a bat, right?
Yes.
I know the only sport you played was cricket.
Table tennis.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I played for St. Lucia.
Really?
Yeah. No, it wasn't St. Lucia. I played trials for St. Lucia, but I played for St. Mary's College.
But how come we never played up in Barbados? Remember I used to play in Barbados when we were training?
The only thing I know you used to play is the colloquial version of the donkey.
Behave yourself. Behave yourself. You know ministers get into trouble for that. Okay.
What did I say? I said the colloquial version of a donkey.
If you were prudent, you could have said it, no problem. If you were prudent, you could have said, huh? Look at bat. Yo.
Yeah. Or if you are Nancy Charles.
If you are Nancy Charles, you can say that. Met.
With total impunity.
Impunity, you can just say that.
Say anything you want.
Yeah.
But it's just like, that's what the zealots do. The people can say or do anything they want.
Say anything.
And when you attack women. Right. You attack the professionalism of the person. You do this, you do that, you do the other.
Richard, I just thought, something. Since we're on the topic, I thought the minister came out.
Osman Fani said the only way Chico can beat Fidel JPI is if elections are called on the 30th of February. Actually, you wouldn't believe, Albert, I wrote a check.
And you put the 30th of February? Well, the person should go and check. I will catch it on the 30th. But Richard, I was saying, that since we're on the topic, I thought the minister came out and delivered a very, very good apology.
Yeah.
Right? But for my part, because the flub was all about the obscene language. That's not obscene language. I thought it was inappropriate.
It was inappropriate given the audience, probably.
Given the audience,
but those are things we use in local palace on a daily basis.
Of course.
Go to Darren, in fact, I'll be playing the clip next day. We hear this thing almost every day.
Yes. And the Flambos can use it with impunity. Look at back, yo.
Yeah.
And Nancy, me met. I'm thinking, me say he met. But anyway.
Met Mama, yo.
Yes. All that kind of stuff. You know?
But I want to, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was saying I want to congratulate the Kings, and we were speaking of sometimes the innocuous deliveries that get Johnson.
Because Johnson had, carrying the bat is what we were talking about. That you open the inning and you close it.
You close it, yes.
Right?
Yes.
And Johnson had that opportunity, that rare opportunity.
More than once.
No. With Johnson, listen, I've been watching this.
No, he had it more than once. That's what I'm saying. He has had that opportunity of both of the innings where he and Faf put on 100 and something partnership. He could have.
Well, okay, but the one I speak of is, it was like 4 balls or something like that left. About four runs or four runs to get or something like that, whatever it was. 4 runs to get, I think it was. And I'm thinking, Johnson, you've batted like a lord. All you have to do there is carry that bat for me, please. Just carry it, and I'll be happy. And he went, he thought, look, that next ball, I'm just going to put it out of the ground, and he got out. Whereas he could have, there's a chap, what's his name, our good boy in the US, he doesn't agree with me on that, the chap from Sufre, he lives in the US.
Which one?
He's always, anyway, I'll see him in a minute.
When you see him,
he's always on, yeah.
But let's say good night to them.
Sijbert, I think, yeah.
Oh, what's it?
Sijbert? Is it Sijbert?
Oh, Sijbert Digazo?
I think he's the one. But he didn't agree with me.
Digazo.
Yeah.
Master Wong, now we know alone you can play. You don't know about cricket, Master Wong. So, Rhea Cruz, how would you bowl that ball if it was the last ball to be bowled and 1 run to be scored, Rhea Cruz? I want to hear your answer on that. And imagine you bowling to Albert Fridges. Whoa!
Listen, Richard, my interest was really football, but I was not too bad in cricket, I just didn't have much of an interest in it.
Okay.
Right? I bowled good medium pace, and when I could put a few runs on the board. I wasn't going to be a Johnson Charles.
All right. Yeah. But, St. Lucia has made it to the finals, and like I said, everything seemed to be going right for St. Lucia at this point. Government is doing well. Juju has us, enjoying global recognition, and this is quite good. And of course, in when it comes to cricket, we are only 1 match away from winning the trophy for the first time, the CPL trophy. I want you to take a listen to a Guyanese national who I believe he lives in St. Lucia, and he supports the St. Lucia Kings. Take a listen to this, folks.
What going on here, partner?
Let me tell you, 1 man army for St. Lucia King here today. One man.
Voice a shake already there, boy.
Why? I tell you. Let me tell you something. This is St. Lucia Kings here, Got Julian Alfred in the 100-meter sprint, and then the Kings taking this trophy. Trust me.
Confident about it?
Confident, very confident, bro.
They get the inspiration from Juju.
From Juju, that's right. Now you got it there, man. Let me tell you, see what happened? The Warriors, them fellas just break your heart, Gassa. They're breaking your heart, you understand?
You and Don broke up, you can't repair them.
My wife left me, my Jabal left me already. You understand? I can't take any more broken heart, so I decided to go with the Kings. You ever watch cricket in St. Lucia? Bad word, I can't say. Get something and wave, Lucia. Get something and wave. It's our year.
The man say, you ever watch cricket in St. Lucia? They go, he's a bad one, I guess. Oh, yeah, it's just unbelievable, Albert. The man said that his Guyanese, he went to watch Guyana and St. Lucia, and he said he's a one-man army for St. Lucia in Guyana.
Richard, one of these days we have to take a closer look at certain expressions that we use and we deem them obscene. We must really take a closer look, because even the he, right? We deem it obscene. But think about
but by whose standards?
Who's
the judge? Who's the arbiter of that morality?
It's an exclamation, If you think about it, it's an exclamation, right? When somebody gets hit, and I remember it was Mikey Obertin, the late, right? He had an exposition on that, you know, like the he gas and all of that. Yeah. And he was saying where it came from. And it's actually just ish gas.
Yes.
Right? And, you know, it evolved
into... But now they don't say ish gas, they say he gas.
I know, but what he was saying is that it evolved from ish gas. Gaz was a slave owner. Right? Gaz was a slave owner. And so when the slave was being punished, and it was a slave of gas, so every time, ish gas, and it evolved into e-gas.
Yes, e-gas.
Right?
Where the he salop came from, Albert?
But I don't know, but it sounds, again, an exclamation.
Yeah, because
you get a blow, you know, or something like that. It's an exclamation.
I don't know how our people, I mean, by whose standards it is deemed a bad word, as he just said.
Yeah, maybe one of these days you can even invite Mr. Weeks over here, man. Because he had a little piece on thing that I saw. Right? Perhaps you can invite him over, because these guys dig into the history and for the poetry and all of that, you know?
Yes.
So I don't know, Mr. Weeks, if you're listening, maybe one of these days, you know, you can come over and give us a little exposition, because I think that we crowd ourselves unnecessarily. You know, this is a bad word and that's a bad word, when it's an exclamation and it's part of our culture. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You take a topic all just you know, before, remember that?
Yeah. Jim Sperino of Union, good night to you, my brother. Good night. Miguel February. Miguel says he can explain the other one I just spoke about, the he sal up. He said he can explain. Back in the day, the child of a whore, prostitute, was called ish. Oh. And then yes. That's how it probably evolved.
Okay, so because of the woman's nature, she was called the S word. Right, and so the child of that S word was an ish.
Yes. But look, my Sylvia sent me something that says salop since, and it was that word came about since 1474, and it says salop was an ancient term that meant faithful and loyal friend. To have that meant as a friend who always had your back, never abandoned you, and provided friendship and support, even through hard times. Society encouraged each other to be valued as being a salop or above any other virtue.
Wow. But you know, in Walthamstow in England.
Now, I want you to put that on the screen, even if it's not now. But you see, the Walthamstow, yes, I know Walthamstow. But my thing is, we don't even know how we came about determining that
is a bad word.
It's a bad word. But we just accept it, you know. Good night to you, Gerald Joseph. Boss J in the house. His birthday is in 2 weeks' time, October 16th. Okay, Boss J. Could you just put up, before I go to my next topic, could you just put that up for me, please? The thing I just sent you, now somebody has said, as it is, nasty bitch used by slave master. What's that?
It could well be that. But I was telling that in Walthamstow in England.
But before you tell me, let me say good night to Miss Marjorie. Good night, Miss Marjorie. Good night to you, Miss Marjorie. Good night. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's Salop Road in Walthamstow.
Walthamstow, yeah. You don't want to put it up now? You'll put it up another time? I just want viewers to read it so that it's right on the screen. It's right there so persons can see for themselves. Mm-hmm. Persons can see for themselves. So, you know, the morality and whatever else. That I'm not promoting its usage or anything, since we, in our own culture, have determined that it should not be used. But I'm just saying, we know not where the immorality or the bad word came from.
So we just deem it a bad word.
We just deem it a bad word, and that is it. Mm-hmm. Yes, okay. So folks, we are back to the St. Lucia Kings. They are playing the finals on Sunday against Guyana, Barbados. Whichever emerges the winner, they play tomorrow night. The reality is, personally, I prefer playing Barbados in the finals.
Yes.
I prefer playing Barbados.
But true that.
Because, I mean, Barbados will be on neutral ground, and so will St. Lucia. But to be playing a final in Guyana, against Guyana,
The same Guyana we just beat.
that will not be an easy task.
Yes.
But in any event, whoever we play, whoever our opponents are, St. Lucia Kings will prevail. Because this year...
It's our year, man.
It's St. Lucia's year.
Yes, yes.
You know?
I mean, Juju went to Paris, you know, and grabbed that.
Yes.
Give me that.
Give me that.
You know.
So, and that's where we're going now.
Then she went round the Diamond League. Give me that. You know.
That's where we're going now. You know, folks, with all the hype and the international global exposure that Juju gave us, we as a government, we decided that we should reciprocate. We should give back to Juju, our heroine. Our heroine who has brought this country a degree of joy that has been totally unparalleled. Her action, her accomplishments has forcefully or otherwise forged the unification of its people in an unprecedented fashion. And so, with all the hype, the best suited individual to have reciprocated on behalf of the government of St. Lucia was no other than Philip Joseph Pierre, our Honorable Prime Minister. Let's take a listen to him as he announced what Juju's gifts from government and its people were.
They came by the thousands, most bedecked in blue, to the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground, Cathedral in the hills of Beausejour to honor the Sprint Queen. The nationwide celebration of the first Olympic champions' return culminated Friday with Julian Alfred Day, marked by a national rally and concert. From the rafters to the corporate boxes to the grassy outfield, patriotic St. Lucians chanted and swayed to the music in a choreographed show featuring the island's talented performers. After nearly 3 hours, the rapt audience erupted as Prime Minister Philip JP announced the state's contribution to Alfred, who brought Olympic glory to the Helen of the West.
So the token that we will give her as follows. 1. We will name the Millennium Highway from cul-de-sac to Rattock roundabout the Julian Alfred Highway. We will construct a monument at the cul-de-sac roundabout in honor of Julian Alfred. We will issue a stamp in honor of Julian Alfred. We will print exercise books with pictures of Julian Alfred. The government will give her a piece of land measuring 10,720 square feet. And most of all, she will get from the people of St. Lucia $1 million. That is just a small token of our appreciation for Julian.
Alfred, seemingly overwhelmed, vowed to stay wedded to her St. Lucia roots while pursuing athletic excellence on the global stage.
I want to represent St. Lucia on the global stage to just receive the love that I've been receiving from all of you. Before I leave, I just want to say no matter where I may roam, I will always love my island home, St. Lucia. May God continue to bless our nation. Thank you.
Cuthbert Modest, who first spotted Alfred's talent, received money and a house. Corporate St. Lucia pledged thousands to Alfred's foundation and her efforts to nurture future track stars. Other Paris Olympians representing St. Lucia will each receive $25,000.
I want to say a special thanks to Corporate St. Lucia for their contribution towards Julian Alfred. Give them another round of applause for their generosity. Of course, I want to encourage other corporate partners to do their part. And we don't necessarily have to wait until the athlete does something. We have primary school competitions, junior competitions. We invite all to make their contribution as we seek to find our next Julian Alfred. I want to, as Minister of Youth Development and Sports, congratulate the other participants in this year's historic Olympic game. I want to applaud their efforts so far, and we look forward to better performances in the future. As a result, in addition to being beneficiaries of the Elite Athletes Program leading up to the next Olympic Games, the Ministry of Youth Development and Sports, in collaboration with the National Lotteries Authority, will award each Olympian $25,000.
A thunderous pyrotechnic display of fireworks punctuated the grand announcement with the recitation of the soundtrack to Julian's triumphant return, Damn Proud Lucian.
Yes, folks. So, Albert, $1 million monument of Julian Alfred at the cul-de-sac roundabout. No more Millennium Highway, but the Julian Alfred Highway. Stamped and exercise books with a picture and land. You know, what's a way to say thank you to our heroine who has brought us such international acclaim? And I want to say this here. Even before government gave her that other piece of land that the Prime Minister announced on Julian Alfred's holiday, we had already taken a decision to give her another piece of land which has already been identified in Tuya. So that will be a second piece of land from the government and people of St. Lucia. I am pleased. I must say I am pleased. And I want to thank the Almighty God for bestowing upon me the opportunity to be part of such historic decision making. As I sat with my team, members of cabinet, the Prime Minister, the men and the women in cabinet, I saw willingness on the part of each and every member to give Juju the world, if we could, as a means of expressing our tremendous gratitude for the economic benefits that she will bestow upon this country. This country of ours is blessed. God has truly blessed this country of ours. And you know, folks, what I like the most? It was how almost each and every person from all walks of life, all different backgrounds, bourgeoisie, proletariat, wisha, poverty, everyone gave her the warm embrace and applauded and agreed with the efforts of the government in rolling out what was red carpet treatment to her and giving her the gifts that we did on behalf of the government and its people. Before I let Albert comment on that, I would let us take in what the people of this country had to see. But you think we'll have enough time? No, we won't have enough time. So we'll play that clip as it relates to the responses of our ordinary people. But Albert, take us into 9:30 with your observations and your comments.
Well, Richard, the bottom line here is that St. Lucia in its entirety, with the exception of a few naysayers, but you don't even worry about that, you know. St. Lucia became buoyed with the whole juju-bilation.
Yes.
Right? The entire country became buoyed. You know, I wrote a small piece on FB saying that before juju arrived, we were already on a high. And her arrival just unleashed the whole jujubilation, right? And the entirety of the country was involved in that. And Richard, now let me admit something to you, Richard. I was not at the ground.
Really?
No, I wasn't. Imagine I bought clothes.
Gaza, you are a man, you always break your promises. Who di we let you uka po shot. Now
you see, you misquoting the whole thing. I didn't say I was taking a shot, because I actually did take a shot. But that's not what I said. I said I had to get drunk.
Okay, all right. Okay.
But I'm yet to get drunk. That's the truth, right? But Richard, I bought clothes for the occasion for me to go out there, right? But at one point, I just was not feeling well enough to go. But Val was there. Val went out there. She enjoyed herself and everything. I did not go, but I watched the entire thing on the TV. And Richard, let me tell you something. I believe from wherever you were, whether you were in America or in England, wherever, and you're watching this on TV, and you're a St. Lucian, a proud St. Lucian, a dumb proud St. Lucian, man, I stayed on my bed and I enjoyed the whole thing. Trust me, I enjoyed it. And I could see that the people out there were really enjoying themselves. And when the Prime Minister rolled out the gifts to Juju, everybody was in support of that. Everybody at the grounds, you could see, man, this thing was just, you know, it was feverish, if you will. There was a juju fever in the place, and we're still on our high, you know, Richard. When we're now talking about winning the CPL, all of that is part of the whole jujubilation, winning the CPL. Yes. You know, that'll just crown the whole thing for us, and there's more for us to win. You know, St. Lucia is now on a high.
And you know, what's her name again? Nancy what? You know, she's asking St. Lucians to shut down the country.
What does she mean by that? What is it? Shut down the country.
But Albert, I've never seen you lost for words like that.
No, but Richard, it's ridiculous. It's beyond the pale. It is beyond the pale. Shut down the country for what? Yeah. These people are creating their own things. Remember, I could program you, but sometimes the information comes to me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But it's all make-believe in their own. You know, talking rubbish. But anyway, let's get back to our jubilation, man.
Yes,
you know, inconsequential nonsense. Let's talk about it.
Shut down the country.
Shut down the country. Yeah. So, Richard, but quite honestly, you can still feel it, right? That for the people, it wasn't just a matter of the week of activities for Juju and the actual holiday. It's more than that. It goes beyond.
The vibe, man.
Yes, the vibe is there. It's still there. It goes beyond. It's really there. And so I don't think that we can ever, and Richard, you know what it is? We cannot say thank you to Juju enough. We cannot.
At all.
Because who is St. Lucia when you're talking about Olympics?
We have to go
to the break. Okay, very well.
Folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You're watching MBC.
The winning numbers for the evening draw of Thursday, 3rd October 2024 were Tic-Tac-Toe 1, 4, 5, 9, 12 15 19. Big 4 8530. Big 4 multi-X 2X. Pick 2 85. Pick 2 multi-X 2X. One off 795. Lucky 3 548. Lucky 3 multi-X FP.
My name is Martina. I would like to say thank you to the guys from Paddy Access, especially Jermaine, for a job well done. I called him 2 days before my brother's funeral to do a live video, and I was not disappointed. He was professional and kept in touch with me throughout the live, just making sure I was satisfied with everything. I would definitely use Paddy Access again, and I highly recommend that anyone looking to do a live video to hire them. Everyone who watched my brother's funeral had good things to say about how much of a good job the videographer did. If you want satisfaction for your money, Paddy Access is the way to go.
Looking for a certified specialist in motor vehicle inspections and evaluations? Check us at K&M Garage, located in Massad, Grosley. We also specialize in motor vehicle damage assessment reports, bodywork, part replacement, and ordering of motor vehicle parts for all vehicles. For more information, call 452-6596, 716-1333, or 716-0767.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Thanks for staying tuned. We have lots to offload on you. But before going back to the juju stuff, Frances, could you put up that poster for me, please? They're having the Creole, yes. Buigo, lobby, turtle, cough, agouti fish, eggs, blackfish, lobster, straight out of St. Lucia. Come and sample as we cook again. It's on a Saturday, October 5th. So it is this Saturday, day after tomorrow, Lucian style on Tapscott Street, all day affair. All right, so Jude Creole in New York City, Brooklyn rather, 117 Tapscott Street, an all day affair. I also want to announce, you can take that one down, Babuno Days, Virginia. Virginia, I have a pic of you to show you in a while, you know, at the opening. Babuno Days, Babuno Days, Sunday, October 6th, starting at 2 p.m. So, I beg your pardon? They have what?
Marshall Day.
Oh yeah, there's Masha Day as well. Yes. But Babono Day, October, this Sunday. Well, I guess it starts from the Saturday night if I know them well. So they start Friday night because the poster is Babono Days. So I suspect it starts Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday because Monday is a holiday. The small goal competition is on Sunday, but Babono Day actually starts the Friday evening. Let me say good night to a couple people before we go back to our Juju jubilation. Or we can form a word, a new word, because Shastinas form his own words with impunity and acceptability across the world.
We've been using jubilation for a while.
Jubilation, right, good. Okay. No, I'm going to write Oxford and ask them to insert it in the dictionary.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's power behind that. That's our Olympic
gold
medalist.
Yes. Let me say good night to Garfield Shabatis. Garfield, we have no chicken break tonight. We are going straight ahead. Cornelia Jacob, sell by Uni Blaggy. Cornelia Jacob said for the finals, she hoped that they don't interfere in their lights and it doesn't rain. What kind of rain? Artificial rain. Fado in Labrie and all the Laborians, the president of Labrie, the man himself, Alva Baptiste, good night to you. Lois Thomas, good night to you. The Thomas in Labrie, good night. Tricky, good night to you, my brother. Wilma in Labrie, good night. Harvey Shalmine from across the waters, I know you're tuned in. Good night to you. Nigel Sinclair, a special good night. Warner Housen, good night to you. Ex-Sergeant Felix, good night. Rossini, how's your father, Shaf Rossini? You all remember Shaf on the bike? Brr, brr, Mishaf Kavini. Brr, 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 Mishaf Shapi. Rossini, good night. Rossini is an employee of Flow, and Rossini says, Richard, don't give us tonight, Flow is flowing. But you'll have to flow at the right time too, Rossini, but you're doing a good job. You are one of the best representatives that any company can ever ask for, my brother. You are you are an exemplary employee. So, good night to you, Rossini. I understood Juju took a picture of your little boy. Wow, you in your glory. Thunder Flood. Over in St. Kitts Nevis, good night to you. Good night to Denise Chango, who's listening to us from Orlando, Florida. She indicated to me that her birthday is on the 8th of October. The 8th is going to be when? Saturday is the 5th, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is the 8th of October. So next week, Tuesday is your birthday. Advance birthday greetings to you. Rossi Cow, good night to you. Miss Veg of Boca, who says Ishwaga Bete, we shall on. The Miss Veg of Boca, Boswell. So that don't Boswell. And I want to take this opportunity to wish each and every teacher, because no man in this country, no man anywhere in the world, irrespective of your IQ, would have been anywhere without a teacher of some sort. So Sir Arthur Lewis had teachers, so did Derek Walcott. Richard Frederick had several teachers. In fact, Nini's, Mrs. Fassois, Walter Fassois' wife, indicated to me that she always knew I would have been a lawyer. When they were teaching us those riddles about the cow jump over the moon, I challenged the validity of that statement by asking her, how will the cow do that? Will the cow go up or the moon come down? And she said my imaginative thinking then was obviously an indication that, I would take a logical approach to analyzing things. So all the teachers across the length and breadth of St. Lucia, I want to say a special good night and happy Teachers Week. I want to say a special good night to the teacher in my life. Dee, come and show your face for a second. Daniel Thomas. She's such a coward individual. She don't like TV. Just come and stand behind me for a second. Just come and stand behind me for 1 second. You're not staying long. So, yes, 1 second. Daniel Thomas, good night,
Hi,
baby.
good night. Yes.
You want to wish any of your friends Happy Teachers Week? Go right ahead.
No.
No? You're not wishing teachers happy Teachers Week?
Well, teachers, you said friends.
No, what I'm saying, teacher friends. I mean,
yeah, I mean, we work hard, we do what we're supposed to do, we go over and beyond. So I just want to wish all teachers a happy Teachers Appreciation Week to everyone.
Then before you go, I know that's something teachers do, right? A child is missing something, a class is missing something. They just dip their hand in their pocket and do whatever they can do, right?
She dip hers in mine.
No, so that would be quite a bit of a strain. But you do it because of, But now, hasn't the government given teachers a little something?
Oh yes. Tell us what the government has given you all. We top it up. Philip J.P. topped it up, didn't he?
You all are asking me questions and you all are answering.
All right, okay, well, go ahead.
Not you all.
Well, TMA has been there for a while. But yes, last year and this year we got some extra.
No. What was it before? And tell the people what TMA means, because nobody will understand that TMA. Tell mommy, I appreciate her.
Okay,
TMA.
it's material allowance.
Right.
You get your whatever resources you need for your class and whatever.
How much was it before and how much is it now since this administration came in?
I think it was, 800, I think.
It was between 6 and 8 and it's now 1,004. Right. So you want to tell the government thank you in a special way, the Prime Minister?
Thank you on behalf of
teachers. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you. Yes, folks. So Teachers Week, good night to all teachers. Like I said, we are going straight back to our jubilation because, we heard the Prime Minister and all the benefits that they've bestowed. You wanted to say good night to a couple of people first?
Yes, indeed, yes.
Let me go right ahead.
Donna, it's Donna's birthday. Donna, you know who you are. I can't remember your surname, but Donna knows who I'm talking about. It's her birthday on Saturday, so happy birthday.
Hey, somebody says check on me over because you gave me a kiss. No, I just said that. You're not in it. No, I'm just saying somebody said that, in the comments.
So good night, Winnie. I think he might be watching for the first time tonight. Good night. Kayla Smith, good night. Aloysius Lafay. Celia Hamilton, bonsoir. Rhea Cruz, good night. Stephanie Cauldron. Sylvester Alphonse, good night. Alison Davis on the Phoenix. I think she's in Phoenix. Fedora Litang. Brenda John. Anna Rose. Cyril, I was having a discussion with Cyril, very spirited discussion earlier tonight. Chika Augustine, bonsoir. Diamond, my daughter. Chelsea, I think these are my two children who are watching, I'll have to ask the others if they watch, but I know these two tend to watch, so that's why they're the ones that I give a shout.
The one in New York,
yes,
Diamond.
Yes. And Chelsea, these are the two that I know that who tend to watch the program.
Yes. Ulja, you watching? Good night to you. Good night. Techno Studies class, Val says good night. And all of those. Alia S. Joseph, good night to you. Sandra Allet, watching from California. Good night to you. Divine Deterville. Rhea Cruz. again. Princess Joseph. And all of them, a special good night. So, folks, we are going back to jubilation. We heard what the Prime Minister indicated. We heard what he said, that we the people, the government, because the government is not doing this on its own volition. The government is doing this on behalf of its people, because invariably the resources taken and given to Juju are resources of the state. So let's take a listen to what the people had to say in response to what the Prime Minister announced that our gift to Juju would be. Take a listen.
Hello, I'm Joachim Duplessis. Welcome to the HTS E-Poll. It's your opportunity to weigh in on the most pressing issues of the day. Groups of people assembled at the vantage points in communities from Vieux-Fort to Gros-Islet to cheer and welcome Julian Alfred back home, following her gold and silver medals at the 100 meters and 200 meter races, followed by her Diamond League first place finish in the 100 meter dash in Brussels. On Friday, September 27, 2024, Julian Alfred Day, the government announced a $1 million award to the star athlete at a grand national concert. So we ask, were you surprised by the outstanding reception for Julian Alfred's homecoming? We took to the streets from Tuesday last week to Monday this week, from the reception to the post-Julian Alfred Day concert, to get your opinion, and here's what you had to say.
I am very impressed with the welcome reception, in particular yesterday, how everybody came out in drones to support her from the Hiranora airport going all the way up to Grosley. And the reception has been a very good one. Lots of people have been coming out with their flags, with their national colors. It has been a very historic moment for us, being the first gold and silver medal for us in St. Lucia. So it has been a great time, a lot of jubilation, and I am really looking forward to the rest of the week to see how the rest of the celebrations unfold.
Yes, I'm very much impressed. She has made St. Lucians proud, and we love her for that.
Yeah, the reception has been great. I was very impressed with what happened at the airport, and also Cassie's was massive. I'm hoping that the rest of the week will turn out very well. I believe that she deserves it. She deserves the biggest celebration that we can give, and I'm very happy to see that St. Lucia is coming out to do that for her.
Yes, very much so. We have a lot of school children, and that's saying well for her.
Very much. So from yesterday we've been celebrating. Today we're just starting in Vieux-Fort South. So I think it's going to improve, man. I'm very much impressed with it, man. Yes, man. She's a young woman. She deserves that kind of thing. So she win gold, she wins silver for the country. So all of us, we are inviting everybody with the opportunity to come out and let us celebrate that girl. It's for everybody.
Yes, very well. We did well. I'm impressed with what we did. Everything is going on smoothly. That was a great welcome.
Yeah, so far I'm very impressed with the reception. You know, there's always room for improvement, but I'm impressed especially with the exuberant nature of the people that came to see her, you know, the citizens of St. Lucia, you know, the pride they exhibit when they saw Julian, you know, to touch her, to feel her. I want to tell the police officers, we are not going to hurt Julian, you know, give us proper security, but let the people, you know, love her, squeeze her, and let her share that love with us. But the thing I'm a little disappointed in Vieux-Fort, we should have a better, you know, give us some more love. They should have her at least ride down Clark Street, you know, with a little rally before she go to Suffrage. It's like Vieux-Fort got nothing. I am still impressed with the reception she was given and all that.
Yes, I am. So far, we've had the schools, we've had the children engaged, being part of it. So far, yes, I am.
Yes, I am impressed. We all come out in large numbers, and we're all excited, and we are very proud of her. So we come out to show our support and to show her how proud we are of her.
Totally. Last night I was in tears. I don't normally cry, but last night I was in tears. What had me was when every time she greeted a child and she held that child, I could imagine, and took a photo of that child, I could imagine when that child grows up and she now out of the business, how that child now would be able to say, yeah, I was there. I have a photo with our first Olympian. Yes. I am totally impressed so far.
Yeah, so far so good. St. Lucians have come out in numbers, given support in the right place, the right time. Support from the government has been good. Support from the locals. Everywhere in St. Lucia people have supported Juju. As a matter of fact, she's a close relative of mine because we have the same grandfather, the same great-grandfather, grandfather and great-grandfather. So she's close enough blood-wise. I'm impressed with her.
Yes, I am. On the airport, the crowd came out. Yes, St. Lucians really love her. They came out to show support and how happy we are that she came home with two medals, the gold and the silver. And I can say that I'm really impressed with how St. Lucia received her.
Oh, I like that. I appreciate that. She worked for that. My girl, go for it, go for more, and think about St. Lucia when you go. The young people, that's an example for you. I'll do like Julian Alfred. And she's the best, and she's the best, and she's the best.
Very much so. In fact, I never expected that lump sum, but then she deserved it. Well done. When that prize was given, it was well thought of, because definitely it's an incentive for the younger ones. Gone are the days when people used to say, there's nothing in sports, and if you fail in your education, that's it, and so on. But we see not so. Apparently, we were misled and so on. Today, the people who are earning the most are actually sportsmen, you know. So if you come straight, sportsmen and women, if you come straight, if you, are disciplined, as in Alfred's case, you will, by the grace of God, you will succeed.
I think it's absolutely wonderful that she got a fabulous reception. She deserved everything about it. It's brilliant that she's an advocate for the young people of St. Lucia who need something to encourage them to go out there and do it. She's absolutely wonderful.
Yes, she deserves it because she worked for it. Yo bay tse, yo bay l'argent, et tout ça bon pour lui because he travaille pour lui.
Very impressive. I think the government went out on a limb to make sure she was well received and give her the attendance and the preparation. I think that is fitting for our gold medalists. I also do believe that the other Olympians, I think, should have received a little more, you know, even because we do know that they make quite a bit of sacrifice, training for years and stuff like that, and some of them not even having to hold a regular job and being at school. So even I believe that if we do have the land, and we do have the land, that if we have 4 Olympians or we have 3 or 5 Olympians, that if you're going to give one land, I think that all of them should have received the parcel of land.
Impressive, Julian.
Yeah. I'm impressed. I think it was a bit too much. That must be tiring. But if she's aware of it and she agrees, then that's fine. But I think they went out quite a long way to make sure that she was well received.
Definitely. I mean, she was well received by her people at home, myself and my family. Again, what she received from the government was fantastic. I think that was, the government did a lot to receive her from the time she landed to the time, of the concert. So I think that will, she will do a lot for St. Lucia in the tourism sector as well. She has actually put St. Lucia on the map as far as I'm concerned. I think she's a great inspiration to the younger people coming up. I think she'll a lot of the young ladies will emulate her and move away from the life of crime and other mischievous activities that they may want to do.
Thanks for those responses. Now to our new discussion. Over 13,000 St. Lucian workers will experience an increase in their take-home pay with the implementation of the island's first ever standardized minimum wage. From October 1st, 2024, legally, no worker in St. Lucia should be earning less than $1,130 per month, $6.52 an hour, or $52 daily. So we ask, do you welcome the rollout of the minimum wage in St. Lucia? Voting is easy. Just log on to htstlucia.org and vote. Remember, our E-Poll team is always on the go to get your responses as well. Watch the HTS News Force from 7 p.m. for the results and a new discussion.
Thanks, folks. But before I let Albert have his take on the reaction of St. Lucians to the gifts of Juju, let me say good night to Kim Cauldron. Good night to Erwin Alcindor, Eastern Parkway. Good night to Richie, Eastern Parkway. Roots in Rock Hall, good night to you. Linus and Marie, Staten Island, in New York, good night to you. Trevor in Canada, good night to you. Peter the Great, Canada, good night to you. Anson, Enoch, and Bernard Haynes of Brooklyn, New York, a special good night to
Bernard Haynes.
To you. What was that?
No, he's the chap who didn't agree with me, Bernard Haynes.
Oh, Bernard Haynes.
Good night, Bernard.
Julia Charles of Mopo, good night to you. You said that Romina and Mr. Fanis are over in New York and they are locked on. So good night to all of you, Julia Charles. Julia Charles, as long as I've not seen you, I owe you a beating. I have to beat you. You're not attending class regularly. Fidonia of Larry Trent, good night to you. Rachel Cassius, a special good night. Cutty Ranks, the man Banner, good night to you. Chelsea Valmo, I understood that you're locked on. A special good night. Now, you know, Albert, before I let you have your say, the Flabo-Zelevs, the Hakalaks, the 43%ers who try to politicize everything, an ignoramus female who I believe suffers from a high infection of jaundice because all she sees is yellow, will advise Julian Alfred on social media, take your money and run because the government is this and the government is that. When will those hacks stop? When? When will they stop? All those people are trying desperately to divide the country and instill fear and anxiety, discontent, discomfort into our people, believing it will end up translating to political support to the opposition or for the opposition. But people are no longer stupid. People can see, they listen. Those who are still illiterate, their grandchildren who are scholars and who explain to them and who tell them what it is. They are seeing the benefits of our policies. They are feeling it where it matters, in their pockets. We did not say that we will put ching-ching in people's pockets and turn around and say ching-ching means credit card. We did not do that.
Empowerment.
We need to ensure our country continues moving forward. And I will not be part of a government that would lie to our people just to secure votes. St. Lucians are no longer stupid, except those who believe, those who suffer with jaundice and believe they can fool the people. Over to you, Albert.
Yeah, just to correct you, it wasn't the credit card the man said. Don't misquote.
I said card.
He said empowerment card. Do you have one?
Gaza, not in the countries where they buy electricity in advance, you have electricity. Gaza, fella saying when Kuwama push yes. Because you actually go and pay your...
Oh, so that's the empowerment card. That's the empowerment, because I know you push it in the little thing there and then boom, you got your card.
And you have electricity for a couple of days.
Yes. So,
yes.
All right, empowerment card.
Yes.
But Richard, just to finish off on Juju, you could tell that the people were well happy, well satisfied. As a matter of fact, there was someone saying she should get more.
Yes.
Right? But they were well pleased with what the government did for Juju. And I think that is deserving, Richard, because the occasion is one where St. Lucia, Kimun Kino, when you're talking about Olympics.
Yes.
Right? Olympics. Richard, quite honestly, I mean, I've been watching Olympics for a long time. I'm sure you've been watching.
Yes.
You know,
and you never envisaged the day when you would have a St. Lucia on that stage.
And not only there, but winning gold.
You know.
So come on, man. Listen, this is St. Lucia. It's just, you know, Richard, I'm sure there's St. Lucians all over the place, especially young children who might have been in school in America, in England, and so on. Right? St. Lucian children, they've gone over, or the children of St. Lucians and so on. And all they could be talking about to their friends is, listen, we Olympic gold, you know, Julian Alfred, Olympic gold. Children boast about these things. They're proud of those things. If you think grown-ups are proud of this, children are very proud of those things. You know? So really, we could not do enough for Julian, because and think of what she has done for us already in terms of tourism and business and all that kind of thing that's going to be happening right here because of Julian Alfred's achievements. Yes? So we can't have done enough for her, and the page is not closed yet. We're still enjoying. But Richard, going back to those few people who, the dissenters, the naysayers. Right. There's one person, I'm not going to mention his name because I haven't actually gotten proof of this yet. But I'm told that there's a certain person who's questioned, where did the government get that money to give to Julian Alfred? Seriously? If you did that, now if you didn't, forgive me. But if you did, seriously? You're asking that question? Did you ever ask questions like, where did Chasney get 13 million for Pomendu? Where did he get to just give 24 million to Sandals? You know,
$32 million range.
Yes. Where did he get
$32 million Lockerbie?
And for me, the most egregious of all,
T.O.R. King sell passports to put them in an overseas account.
Yes.
$7.3 million for vaccines.
Vaccines that we never needed. We never needed those vaccines. We never needed those vaccines.
Right?
So that That was never born of any kind of, in a good place that, look, let me get vaccines for my St. Lucian people. Don't try that. Do not say it. Don't say it. It's rubbish. You know very well that we never needed those vaccines because you're the one who collected the first tranche of vaccines from the COVAX facility. You are at VG. You collected those vaccines and you know that there was another tranche coming. The first tranche, right, was not even taken up by the people. And yet you're talking about we needed vaccines and you had to do this and a check written in ink and all that kind of nonsense, right? For $7.3 million, right? To a company dealing in cement.
You know.
Anyway, I'm kind of losing it, Richard. Pull me back. Pull me
No,
back
you're not losing it. You know, because if a man who boasts of having a talk show can spew that kind of garbage, well, I speak conditionally because I did not hear him. You indicated that to me tonight. And I will seek verification as to whether he actually said it or not. And if he didn't, I can find the clip. I'll play the clip. And then I will go to town on him for making a comparison. $1 million given to our citizen who has taken
done so much for us.
She has basically engaged in economic miraculations, if you want to call it that. What we will reap as a result of she winning that medal cannot be readily quantified. And to give her only $1 million, only $1 million, which is less than 0.01% of her economic impact on this country, to question that. And that's where we're getting the money from. That will send a rage through me. Because you will ask Shasne, what about the Lockerbie 32 million? What about the Pumandu 13 million? What about the $32 million for range? What about the $7.3 million? What about the $24 million vaccine? What about the $13 million for incinerators? What about the $15 million for new road for Tiwaki? And I could go on and on and on. But for $1 million,
what we have not discovered yet.
For $1 million,
yes, you have
to a citizen of this country, whereas over $2.2 million was paid to somebody in Forestier as a commission for a loan. You know, so I want to verify this man said that. And trust me, if he did, I will not play with him.
And Richard, whilst we there talking about those things, let me just give a shout out. No, that's not for you, You stay away from that. Let me talk. Let me give a special shout out to Mr. Special Prosecutor. Special shout out. I think I've said enough, Mr. Special Prosecutor. People are waiting. Back to you.
Okay. Now, folks, let's move on a bit. You know, Alan Michael Shasney is the only prime minister thus far, and I suspect will be the only prime minister, at least in our period on this earth, who surpassed 5 consecutive years as a prime minister in one term. Only one in history.
So after 5 is what?
6.
Okay.
He went into a 6 year. Only prime minister. If that is not obsession with power, I don't know what is.
But didn't his father plead with you?
And then they wanted a 2-year extension.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And those hakalaks have the audacity to say people are enragés for power. Can you believe?
Chagoué pouvoir.
Chagoué pouvoir. The only prime minister in the history of St. Lucia to have spent, check the amount of days 5 years is, he's the only one, 365 multiplied by 5. He's the only one in our history to have surpassed 5 years, went into a 6th year, was attempting desperately to find some scholars in some kind of, I don't know, but some corner of the earth to find an illegality, to prolong that prime ministerialship for another 2 years. Yet, you'll have the audacity to speak of Chagoué pouvoir. And whilst he went into his 6th year as prime minister, he did absolutely nothing to address the situation in relation to workers in this country. But why would he? Why would he? He would never. From the time the man took ownership or leadership, I can say ownership because one of his zealous say he owned St. Lucia. From the time he took ownership of Flambeau, the party has become one that radiates the attitude of the plantocracy, the colonialist, whilst everybody else is on a slave plantation. And the attitude of a slave master is that of one which will be totally unconcerned with the plight of the slave. Why are you telling me a man loses election in a predominantly black country? He comes on social media, on national media, in a country, like I said, that is predominantly black, and he will say he lost the elections because his class did not support him. Folks, dot paka kute sebaisa. Electorate, are you not listening to this? This is the worst kind of racial denouncement, insult, insolence that could ever come out of the mouth of Alan Shastney. In fact, he's saying implicitly, you are not of my class, even if you voted for me. That he lost the elections because his class did not support him. So ordinary voters, you are not of his class. You know? So why would this man who leads the government want to do anything for anyone who's outside his class? Why? Why? And so, as a leader who professes implicitly or otherwise not to be in the same class with the electorate, a man who says he's white overtly, a man who says he brings white people to his hotel as though there is some kind of superiority complex that the whites enjoy over us.
Stronger dollar. The dollar is worth more than the...
You know? Can you believe this? Speaking in a context where he's making a comparison between people with more melanin versus less melanin. I am a white man. This is what the white man has done, and I wanted white people to come to my hotel. Why are you black people still following this man? On top of that, telling you you don't belong to his class.
Richard, if I may, I saw somebody wrote something earlier, and I read it. And, you know, there are people who want to, as soon as you raise the topic of race in this country, there are people who want to, and interestingly, it's black people who want to knock you down.
Yes.
Right? And I'm thinking, listen, I do not resile from this, Richard. It's not for me, it's not a question of hating white people.
No.
It's a question of observing and accepting and recognizing. Not accepting, recognizing.
That he sees us as inferior to them.
Yes.
That's all.
That is it.
That's all. I'm not racist.
And I keep saying to them, without his permission, I use Sanders all the time. Gary DeVoe, right? Gary DeVoe is more white than Alan Shastney. Gary DeVoe is a white man, you know.
Yes.
But who can actually tell that Gary DeVoe? He more black than us.
Yes.
Right? And it is attitude.
His attitude, his deliberation, everything he does is blackness.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. Alan cannot even speak patois.
Yeah.
Alan can't even speak patois. You're talking about your class. Your class. You're talking about your white man, and you wanted, as a white hotelier, I wanted white people to come to my hotel. And you were speaking to a contingent of blacks who applaud you out of their ignorance. They applaud you. You know? And it's not that we are racist, as Albert was saying. It is denouncing your ability to see yourself as superior to us based on skin color. That's all it is. That's all it is. You know? And then that same man So white people, white hotel, you will show up at a meeting of the Chamber of Commerce and you said you will come in a private capacity, you know?
As a business owner.
As a business owner. Yeah. Why would any man like that, folks? Think of it. Why would any man like that want to increase minimum wage? It would be against his interest, or rather, not having any legally stipulated minimum wage would work for him. So it would be in his interest not to even attempt to introduce minimum wage.
And he didn't.
He would never. He would never. And that is the same man, after government announced that it will implement the minimum wage, goes around in a vicious, hypocritical, clandestine manner, asking persons what you think UWP minimum wage should be. Obviously manifesting a degree of ignorance as to how those things work. You know? But he would have never. It's not in his interest to do so.
You know what, Richard? If I'm around for the next 2 elections, you know, because he ain't winning. Let's say if I'm around for the next 2 or 3 elections and he happens to win, then I'm coming for minimum wage, you know. Increase it.
You know? But folks, here we are. October 1st. This year was Tuesday. And no St. Lucian should be working for less than $52 for an 8-hour day, or less than $6.50 per hour. That is extremely good news, because over 13,000 St. Lucians will be going home with more money. 13,000 St. Lucians. That means their disposable income would increase, and so would their spending capacity. And that in turn will foster more economic activity, and invariably it will bolster economic growth. But what can Shasne tell you about any of those things? Shasne pa konet se bagay sala. He may say himself, you see me, I not interfere with minimum wage. But for him to put that kind of analysis on the table, I am of the view that Shasne is not intelligent enough to decipher the ramifications of the introduction of a minimum wage. Ipana says have help, sir. Because
isn't he an economist?
A what?
Isn't he an economist?
What qualification he has?
I don't know. I've never seen the man's qualifications, but I do know that there was a time when the man was working in the Ministry of Finance as an economist. Pell, because he worked with Pell.
Pell. Oh yeah, he worked with Pell and they never jail.
he worked with Pell, you know. Yes. As an economist, the guy said the economic Pell. Tell us what it was. They had a little crew in the Ministry of Finance, I think it is.
Economist?
Yes, man.
Huh?
Yeah.
Economist?
But he's
taking state funds and doing that kind of... And you know the man is so bold, Albert. The man say, and this government is wasting money.
Wasting money.
Can you believe
wasting
this?
Money.
But money they say pas boitet because say opinion me say pas boitet.
The hot facility, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the hot facility.
He suffers from autism.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, Shasne cannot analyze those things. You don't even know how this thing works. You don't even know. You know, you don't even know how. Now, because you're not intelligent enough for that, and that's why Flabo keep attracting all sorts of misfits with zero qualifications as the candidates, you know. But that's another show, more particularly the platforms. So yes, folks, the minimum wage is here. Put up the pic of my sister Virginia Alfred for me, please. And the office of the minimum wage. Look at Virginia Bella. Whoa. Look at my sister V. She stands well. She looks well. Trust me, her posture looks ministerial. And I must say, Virginia, you are doing us proud. You are doing us very, very, very proud. I must tell you, you know. And the office of the Minimum Wage Commission And the Labor Tribunal was opened on Tuesday this week. And that was the minister with the responsibility of minimum wage and labor delivering her address at the opening. And basically what that means, folks, in a nutshell, it would mean that it would be unlawful for anybody to be paid less than, I think, $6.52 an hour, or less than $52 a day for an 8-hour shift, or less than $1,132 a month, based on 4 weeks of work and a 40-hour week. Before you come in, Albert, I want us to listen to the Prime Minister as he disclosed the introduction of the minimum wage to the people of this country. Then you'll step in.
October 1st, implementation of the minimum livable wage is a clear commitment on the part of my government to make the necessary interventions where market forces fail to address the minimum living standards of workers. The stability and strength of our nation is very dependent on the well-being of the vulnerable in our midst. As a socially conscious government, we remain faithful to the needs of people, ensuring that there is dignity in work and that workers can have a dignified existence by being able to take care of themselves and their families. Minimum wage, $1,131 monthly, or $6.52 per hour. Does not include a payment of overtime, a share of service charge, a commission, bonus, or profit sharing.
So, Albert, over to you.
Yeah, Richard. $1,132 a month. Minimum. Now, people need to understand that, Richard. It is the minimum, the base. You cannot pay less than that. Right? That is not to say that someone who is qualified for more, someone who has given enough time on the job for more, should be getting that. That's not what it is. No. It is just saying that that is the base, the absolute minimum that you can pay. But Richard, my understanding is the $6.50 it is? $6.50 an hour?
$6.52, yes.
Right. Now, my understanding, Richard, is that that is more than double what some people were getting prior to.
Yes.
Right? That is more than double. You know, now isn't that a shame? Mm-hmm. My understanding is that the hotels, my understanding, they are famous for that, and the security companies and so on, paying people money that it's not livable, livable. You know. So now this government has taken the bull by the horns and said, okay, fine, we are implementing a minimum wage, right? And there has to be balance as well, Richard, because you know, you do not want to implement a minimum wage which will put businesses.
Now that is why the clip that we will show, the reaction of the people. Somebody said that, and I have the response to it.
Well, there you go.
I have the response. So that is what it is, folks. He introduced it, and while Shasti, I am saying, for reasons that I've disclosed, while Shasti would have never found it fitting to touch it, after we announced it, he goes around and asks, what do you think Flambeau's minimum wage should be? And by asking that question, Shasta is displaying total ignorance of the economic factors and the underlying principles that one must take cognizance of to arrive at a minimum wage of any given country. But you know, what is very important, Albert, is how ordinary people, ordinary citizens, the man of the Clapham, on the Clapham omnibus, as is widely referred to in legal jargon, how he receives such news, you know, about how it relates to him or the people in relation to that minimum wage. And let's take a listen to HTS E-Poll with ordinary St. Lucians basically making pronouncements as to what they believe the impact of the minimum wage should be or will be. Take a listen.
Hello, I'm Joachim Duplessis. Welcome to the HTS E-Poll. It's your opportunity to weigh in on the most pressing issues of the day. Over 13,000 St. Lucian workers will experience an increase in their take-home pay with the implementation of the island's first ever standardized minimum wage. From October 1st, 2024, legally, no worker in St. Lucia should be earning less than $1,130 per month, $6.52 an hour, or $52 daily. So we ask, do you welcome the rollout of the minimum wage in St. Lucia? We took to the streets to get your opinion, and here's what you had to say.
Well, to me, I welcome the minimum wage because those people that were doing below $1,000, right now the contribution will help them towards their children finance, with their schooling, their sporting activities, and other aspects of the children. Most of all, we have to think of the future of our new generation to come. So by all means, our children will be able to manage their money more wisely and more efficiently.
It's a good thing. It's high time they did that for people of St. Lucia. So everybody will benefit from what is going on and what is taking place. For too long they have been taking advantage on workers, so it's a good initiative.
Yeah, I can welcome the minimum wage. It has certain advantages, certain disadvantages. I mean, it's good to the small people, the poor people, they get a little blind. But as a country, everything is going up, you know, and I can see the need for government to try and give a raise to these people. But also expenditure on the businessman. I mean, the businessman has a lot of expenses, you know, in terms of electricity, water, and they're the ones who really drive the economy in terms of keeping people employed. So I think, as well as giving incentive to the underprivileged, government has to look for some revenue, some form of compensation to the businessman, whether it be to abolish the commercial rate on electricity and water, but something has to give. It cannot be a one-way street.
I find it's a great improvement, a nice improvement in the country. You know, it might help a great deal of people, and I look forward to see more improvement in the country as well.
Yes, for sure. I think it will work well for the employees. It's a very good gesture. I thanking the government for that move. Well done.
Yes, I do welcome it. Reason for is that I mean, people have been working for too little for too long, and everything have increased significantly over the past years, months, and weeks. So I believe yes, they do need the increase. I just hope that the employers do not dismiss some staff because of the increase, and I hope that the staff as well work efficiently, good enough for the pay.
Oh yes, I mean that is long overdue. Understand what's happening in the sector and the economic situation. I think that has to be regularized in terms of ensuring that there's compliance on behalf of the workers and the employee. At the end of the day, it may have a serious impact. I think it has to be fine-tuned as it relates to ensuring that it does not impact negatively on the business persons, because they may not have the capacity to repay, or they may have to lay off certain persons because of their inability to sustain the business. But I'm hoping that the government will step in and give them concession to keep them afloat, because the small business sector is very important to the business environment, and I'm hoping that good judgment will prevail to ensure that there is a good compromise between the two parties.
When I support you because it fait sens, because là most moun un pays qui pas une satisfaction là because ça va faire pièce sens pour travailler pour un mois et quoi une 400 good 600 good ça va amener une pièce côté celle ça n'a qu'à tirer now nous gouvernement fait un bon pied pour nous aller devant pour nous garder primaire.
Oh, most definitely. The minimum wage is a very good thing. There are how many people that are in need of that, and it will benefit thousands of St. Lucians, which will be good for the island.
Certainly I welcome the minimum wage. I think what it's going to do, it's going to put a lot of more disposable income in circulation. So now, as employers increase the wages for the regular workers, other small businesses will benefit as a result. And that's just the bottom line.
I think it's a very good thing. At least some of these people who have actually broken their backs for the employers could actually reap some good benefit for the many years that they've, or the decades that they've actually made the employers make money. I think finally something good is actually happening. So it's very good. Could have been better. hopefully maybe in the next 5 years it will be better, but for now it's good.
I welcome it because I believe the workers has been ostracized many years back, and I feel that's the ideal thing. It is because a man is indeed required, like he works, he needs double honor, double pay. So I welcome the situation. Yes.
The minimum wage is very much overdue. When I listened to the Prime Minister's speech last night, I realized that it has been in discussion from as early as the 1940s. So it is something that the country has been discussing for a long time. And therefore it's very welcoming to see that we are eventually going to go into a minimum wage, so that people who are going to be working now are going to be working at $6.50 an hour, which will work out to be about $52 a day, or 1,140, I think, for the month. So I welcome that. I know it's going to have a few different problems because some of the business people may not have budgeted for that kind of increase. But I'm hoping that everything works out and that it benefits the country in a very positive way.
Thanks for those responses. And now to our new discussion. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre, at a meeting with the St. Lucians based in the United States, said he will introduce legislation to Parliament to facilitate overseas-based St. Lucians investing in their homeland. Prime Minister Pierre said all of the incentives available to investors would also be available to St. Lucians residing overseas. The announcement seemed to have been welcomed by those in attendance. So we ask, will the introduction of legislation to provide incentives to overseas-based nationals equal to that of other investors increase economic growth? Voting is easy. Just log on to htstlucia.org and vote. Remember, our E-Poll team is always on the go to get your responses as well. Watch the HTS News Force from 7 p.m. for the results and a new discussion.
You know, folks, rather than, Albert, I want you to have your say, but I want to wrap up minimum wage. I have a short clip that Shastny made pronouncements on. Rather than addressing the minimum wage, Shastny actually permitted Chinese to come here, and he said it is cheaper for them to come here and to house the Chinese than to pay St. Lucians. So how will a man like that ever fight on behalf of the workers of this country? How would he? Because you are saying Chinese will come, they want to get involved in both public and private sector developments, because it's cheaper for them to come, house them and pay them $20 a day. $20 par jour. Passer au garder pour travailler 7 ici, pour faire travail là qui a dit dans 7 ici même. Take a listen to Shastny, folks.
Prime Minister, we saw a situation recently with the Royal where there was 1,600 employees, but 800 came from outside. What is your government planning to do? Educate the people, or to raise their standards in order that they can get the jobs, because we're not a manufacturing country, and that is one concern.
It's something that we have to ask ourselves, and we have to look deeply into it. So here we have a situation where a hotel company came to St. Lucia. We had 25% unemployment, 45% unemployment among our youth, right? And yet they were able to justify flying people in, putting them up, and paying them, and found it to do that more cost effectively than utilizing our workers here.
Robots and a computer could never take care of a horse. It's only people that can take care of horses. And I know of the love and the passion that the people in the South have, and I know how great they are going to be at taking care of horses.
Construction companies from China. Mr. Aking is looking at the possibility of using Chinese construction companies for his development.
we have to look ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves why. I know that there are good tilers in St. Lucia. I know there are good tradesmen in St. Lucia. But a lot of them have basically said, if I'm not going to get paid a salary of this level, I'm not going to do that work. And some of them were just prepared to stay home. There's stories of people who had trucks and they felt they had made enough money, and Christmas time came and the guys were working overtime. They just went home and they wouldn't even let anybody else use the trucks. So there's something that we have to change within ourselves, and I think it comes back to our education system.
We right now do not officially, or we don't have what we call normalized relationship with China. And I have to say that I'm very grateful to the Chinese government for allowing the Chinese construction companies to even consider doing work in St. Lucia. And so while those projects are not on a government-to-government basis, they are allowed now, have been given permission to be able to do work for private sector investors. They have also expressed an interest in doing public sector projects.
The added value is labor. And that hotel should be a massive wake-up call to us that we have a major imbalance and an unproductive labor force.
The man says unproductive labor force. So Albert, why would Chasney ever fight for workers when he is saying that the Chinese can bring people from China, house them, and it costs them cheaper? So he will settle for the importation of labor.
Cheap labor.
Cheap labor, rather than implement a minimum wage to protect our solutions.
Yes.
What do you think of that?
But the man was never in our interest, Richard. You listen to what he's saying, and the man is proud of what, that's what gets me with him, The man is proud of what he's saying, the nonsense that he's spewing there. He's proud of it. He's proud to say that he will not protect our workers.
Yes.
Right? Because they're more expensive than the Chinese. And Richard, now I was thinking something a while ago. I don't even know if I should say that.
If it's not palatable for TV.
I'm just wondering if it's just not palatable for anywhere. Because I'm wondering, these Chinese, where did they come from? I mean, I know they came from China, but where did they come from? That they're prepared to come here, right, and work for what, being paid $20
or less.
They
live in containers. You see how they are transported. They pay $20 or less, and he would embrace that.
Yes.
As opposed to protecting the workers of this country.
So he brings down. He's prepared to bring down the minimum wage, if you will.
Yes.
In fact, there's no minimum. He's just prepared to bring it down.
There was labor exploitation.
Yes, exploitation. Bring it as low as possible. As low as you can go.
Yes.
And he's fine with that. Beauty, Prime Minister.
And then the man went to talk about there is an imbalance.
And talk about tilers who will not work, who will not work. But the guys know their value. So it is up to the government really to protect them, for them to get value for the effort.
Exactly.
Anyways.
And look, somebody sent me a message, and there's a bigger issue here. When he said workers are going home about Christmas time and refusing to work, he is ignoring our culture. Can a St. Lucian businessman go into another country and bring their traditions and customs?
You can't.
And that is what we know. Noel, we ve. And the disregard for our culture applies to Emancipation Day as well. The man will not put on any kind of thing that would signify the end of the slave era. So that is consistent with the man not being one of us, Albert. Not being one of us.
And I do not resile from that, Richard. You see, people want to make you feel like you should be ashamed. I don't resile from that. I do not. Chasney is not one of us. He's never been.
And he'll never be one of us.
And he'll never be. You can't be 52 years old and you don't know where Miku is. When you drive past Miku all the time to go to the airport.
62, 63. That's who say Chasney, man.
No, I'm talking if he was, at the time when he decided he started. And when I say 50, I'm saying just basically,
after 5 decades,
you cannot have reached age 50
and don't know
claim to be a St. Lucian. You've reached past age 50 and you do not know where Miku village, and you're proud to say that you're never driven through Miku, at least driven through Miku village.
And that's the man they made Prime Minister.
That's the man they made Prime Minister.
Assigning a seat.
Just on the other side.
Next door.
Just on the other side, next door. Yes.
You know, so it's shame, shame, shame on our people, man. Shame. Daniel Alexander, your birthday is next Friday. Good night to you. Hayden Thomas, Hayden Moga, Zol, Saudi Anesta, Ula, Mostin, Saudi, Uris, Ubie. Nurse Gustav, Nurse Shanta Gustav, Sarah, good night. Tinko, Mac, Bossware for Tinko. Now, you know, folks, even our ordinary people are manifesting a sound knowledge of economic principles much better than the leader of the opposition. One person interviewed understood it quite well, and he implicitly indicated the need for a balance, which is understandable. But you see, folks, even a small business that pays a month or two of a negligible increase, because don't forget, this was not a figure pulled out from the sky. This was done with immense consultation with all stakeholders who could have questioned, who could have done this, who could have done that. So basically, it was after much consultation that this thing. So even if a small business for a month or two experiences a very small increase, 2%, 3% in their wages, it is a fact that there will be a lot more economic activity, there will be greater expenditure, and invariably more money in circulation, so that the small businesses at the end of the day will end up at a greater benefit. This is how analyses are done. Not by going and ask people how much you think flabo minimum wage should be. That is sheer ignorance. Sheer ignorance, devoid of any kind of economic principles, policies, or any kind of empirical data on which to hinge this. Nonsense. What you think flabo's minimum wage should be. And as it relates to the support that one of the gentlemen interviewed said, he spoke about helping small businesses. And this is a question that the principles of the government, rolled out by this government, has assured businesses that they will not be in the red. Apart from the loan contingent, government has given away, gouvernement ja bay about $10 million pour jeune moun pour ouvrir business. About $2 million have been given to young people under the youth economy to open their businesses. Okay? We did not take money and give T.O.A. King. We did not take money and give this one or that one, or pay vaccine and we lose the money, or Ernst & Young to prepare budget estimates, which was being done by our civil servants from time immemorial. We did not take it to give range developers or Permandu or Lokobi. We gave the money to our young people to empower them and to help them develop. And as it relates to small to medium businesses, under the visionary leadership of Philip Joseph Pierre, $10 million was allocated to assist small to medium businesses. And guess what? 70% of the amount you qualify for, of up to $25,000, is given as a grant. And only 30% has to be repaid at 3% per annum. Let me say that again. Gouvernement a mette $10 million là. A parti a bay jeune gens 2 millions. Gouvernement met $10 million là. Cassius James, 10 million. Il met $10 million là. Il a aidé petit business et medium business up to $25,000. $25,000, 70% 70% c'est l'argent yo ka ba ou. Et l'autre 30%, on peut payer à 3% par l'année. So on dit moun a joué $20,000. En $20,000, c'est $6,000 yon qui a vie payé. Et qui a vie payé à l'éterrain ou pas qu'à jamais tendre dans la terre 3% par l'année. So if this is not putting people first, I don't know what more anyone could ask for. What do you think of that, Albert?
Yeah, just before I respond, Richard, let me just say good night to
Yes,
Julian Alfred, Miss August, and Hazel and Georgia, and with the wonderful Saturday offerings of Cow Hill and so on. Good night. Richard, this government, right, has, and you know what's beautiful about it is that there are so many different initiatives just being rolled out.
Yes.
And all the initiatives, they redound to the benefit of St. Lucian,
average
St. Lucian, right? These are initiatives
So
that
how you think we are enjoying so much economic growth?
It is because the money is being used wisely.
And it's been
circulated, exactly. The young people, Richard, who have already benefited, right? Now, I heard Spider, right? Forgive me for bringing them, but I heard him talking about that his son benefited and his son. Nobody said his son should not benefit. Why do you think your son benefited? Is it because we felt, right? The government felt that your son should benefit, and so your son benefited.
And the government is not manifesting the attitude of Chasney, who for 5 going into 6 years did not give the opposition members
right? The what's his doctrine? Fortuna Belrose doctrine, right? But seriously, Spider, I listened to you and I'm thinking, what's he talking about? The government felt your son came, he was interviewed, they found favor, and he benefited. So what are you talking about now? Be quiet, Sasha, Spider. Just be quiet. So yes, Richard, I think it's good. I have heard young people talking about the benefits that accrue to them. Those who have started a little business. Richard, quite obviously, right? In something like that, there will be 1 or 2 that will fall by the wayside.
Yeah, of course,
right?
invariably.
Right, but
some will go through the cracks.
Yes, but you'll want to see that they benefit because some of them have good heads, on their shoulders, and they will conduct their businesses properly, right? Utilize the money wisely, right? And quite, my understanding is that you're not just giving money to go away with.
You're giving the checks
right,
to buy the relevant things.
Yes. So there will be those pretty, Richard, in another 15 years, we will see some of these young people, their business.
Millionaires.
Yes, thriving.
Millionaires.
Thriving. We will see that.
Yes, man. Yeah. Mr. Jeremy, good night. PJP is a blessed man. We all know that. Jacqueline Leo, good evening, all solutions. Our Creole Day in Atlanta, Georgia is the 19th of October. Yes, Jean Francis Fassois, I am left-handed. I'm left-handed. That's why they can't touch me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They might need to ask me to say good night to Jude Pooks. Hello. Good night, Jude.
Ken Hamilton,
good night to you. Miriam Smith, it's a pleasure listening to our 2 brilliant Nubian kings. I say Quincy.
Kings.
Kings. Folks, and those policies that we spoke of, that are being rolled out, that redound to the benefit of the people, and we are seeing it by the data compiled by the ECCB, those are just a tip of the iceberg in terms of policies that the government roll out that benefit our people. We recently launched the program of 1 university graduate per household, Albert. Now, I'm imploring Chasney and other members of the United Workers' Party, on behalf of yourself and and the candidates and other candidates, Flabo needs, I think some of them need their first graduate per household.
They should talk to the Prime Minister.
Yeah, they should talk to the Prime Minister. Okay. Flabo needed, because the kind of candidates you're sending up there, we can do better in 2025. 2025, Folks, take a listen to this as we roll out the one university graduate per household.
The government of St. Lucia has unveiled groundbreaking policies to ensure every citizen has access to quality education, regardless of background. Now we've taken it a step further. The One University Graduate per Household initiative is an innovative step with Monroe College, which aims to transform lives and uplift communities across St. Lucia. Any household which has never had a university graduate has an opportunity to send one deserving family member on a life-changing educational journey. That's not all. Government is expanding opportunities by partnering with prestigious institutions in Cuba, Taiwan, Morocco, Hungary, and more. These collaborations offer even more avenues for success, enriching your educational experience like never before. Imagine the possibilities, whether it's studying medicine, engineering, or business. The choice is yours. So join us in celebrating a new era of educational empowerment in St. Lucia. Seize this moment to turn your aspirations into reality. Contact the Ministry of Education's Human Resource Development Unit today.
Melinda, James Gustav, you said this is great. Thank you very much. Austina Fanis, good night to you. You see, folks, higher education was once seen as elitist. It was meant for a few. It was meant for those whose parents was Mr. This or Mrs. That, or could have afforded what was then seen as a prohibitively expensive venture to pursue. And a lot of people, even if they were equipped with the educational foundation on which higher education could have been built, they fell by the wayside, sadly, because of issues of affordability. But this government is ensuring that each and every household in this country would enjoy or would be facilitated with such life-changing empowerment of a university graduate per household. And as I played this clip, I was reminded of the $250,000 that was given to Juju as she moved from collegiate to professional. And of course, we know she has a diplomatic passport. So all of those things we are doing. And meanwhile, Invest St. Lucia, under the guide and ministerial responsibility of Sister Emma, secured a market for dashing exportation. You could start putting up the pics for me, please. In that regard, the festival was held in Soufrière to sensitize our farmers and to ensure that no amount of dashing would be too much. The market has been secured. I want to thank Invest St. Lucia. I want to thank Sister Emma. And Sister Emma, I know you don't put, look at it, leave that pic there for me. Does that hair look like it has any rods? Does it? No. No. So I know you don't put rods in your hair. So no hair rods. DC land hair rods sotla. Upamu is a pièce roda chivo. No hair rods. Okay.
No hair rods. H-A-I-R.
No hair rods. You don't have rods in there. Yes. So no hair rods. Yes, hair rods. And only today she was at it again. Export St. Lucia held an expo. Could you put up that pic for me? For small manufacturers, to put players in the tourism and manufacturing industry. They met at the Harbour Club. Both Sister Emma and Brother Ernest Hilaire, as Minister of Commerce and Tourism respectively, addressed the gathering. So this is an ongoing effort by the government of this country to ensure our people get the true slice of the St. Lucian cake. If that is not putting the people first, I don't know what is, Albert.
I will have to go back and plant dashing. I was a legitimate dashing planter at one point, you know, man. Don't mess with me, you know. Don't mess with me. I was a legitimate dashing planter. It looks like I'll have to go back and plant my dashing.
I remember they never grew. I remember you took me to the farm. And when I asked you where's the farm, you told me it was in your backyard.
See this man, Papi, showing me.
Now, folks, I want to make an announcement tonight. You know, I've been chastised, castigated in the main by the opposition in relation to vendors. But the opposition forgets that on 2 consecutive Mother's Day, they were the ones who took the trays and the vending artillery of all vendors and threw them at the Masha Market. I will never do that. All the booths in town, all vending booths in town, in Castries, have been built by no other than Richard Frederick. Under Alan Shastey between 2016 and 2021, not one new one was built. 0. Since I came in, over 40 new ones have been built. Yet I don't like vendors. What was happening around, in fact, today a lady fell. That's another story I have to deal with, because a vendor had something on the sidewalk. I think she hit it. Her knee is as big as this. The lady had some iron something holding up a tent, you know. So all of those things I am grappling with to bring a certain degree of integrity to vendors, to operate with comfort. And I went over to Beano Park and I built this. No, the naysayers had preferred the ghetto style that existed there, the total occupation of the sidewalks. That's what they would have preferred. But this government, of which I am a part, has given me the total support in bringing regularity, not depriving anyone of an income. They had not built one, the last government. Recently I heard one say, I want to go up for Central Castries and I will not put a billboard to block you all. So how can you huh? That after you all have fake qualifications. You all have no qualifications. You all endorsing people saying you all are qualified. You come in with that? You will not put thing to block them. I build them. And further, I am going further. That Castries City Council, in an effort at continuing to beautify the city under my stewardship, we have ordered and paid for 20 small vending mobile booths. Can you show us the specimen of them, please? Show us the others. Show us the others. Move on. We have ordered 20. Yes. 20 of those that will be retrofitted. There are some other red and there are some others in different colors, the brown ones. No, you got it. No, I send you more than one, Mr. Technician. Look, my technician is letting me down here now. I have the thing right there. Just before the photo I sent you with the Babuno days and the other stuff, I sent you. Get it where it is, Mr. Technician. It's in your phone. Mr. Technician, you got them? The same one he didn't have. Well, but I sent you that one before I sent you other pictures that you've shown. I sent you this before I sent you the Babuno days and the other one. Okay, and there's another one as well. There's another one, that color. Could you show it? It's opened. It's actually opened. Okay, 1 second. That is Black Boy for you. When Black Boy say 1 second, he literally means 1 second. Yes, and this is the other one as well. Open there, Albert. What do you think of this?
This is good, man. This is good stuff.
Yes.
So how are they going to be distributed?
No, we will not be putting them in any one location. We want them in strategic locations that would not offend the aesthetic appeal of the city. You know, because I don't want, you know, that thing about people just coming and put up tent all over the place and this and that and the other. We can ill afford. Right now, we'd have a lot of tourists converging upon our city. We would have a lot of economic activity. We can do what we have to do. But what will not be tolerated, and I warn again, those people that just believe they can open tarpaulin and put up pieces of steel and vend anywhere. I have been the one championing the causes of vendors. I can never, ever take anyone away from the breadline. But we need to do this thing in a manner that lends to aesthetic appeal. Look, currently I am building this fish vending facility at the fisheries so as to remove the fish vendors from by the market, because hopefully later this month we are looking to open the facility opposite the car park. So let's do things in an orderly manner.
Yes, high time. It's high time.
Yes, man. Let's do things in an orderly manner. So when you hear they say I'm against vendors, I am the one who have championed the causes of vendors. And 20 of those things are coming through. We will find proper locations and they will be distributed according on a meritorious basis. Not those who want will get, not those who, anybody who want one and say I want one, those who really need one. And no two members of any one family who don't come and approach that I want that one, my mother want that one, my sister want that one.
Lot Moon Fun.
Exactly. It reminds me of Joycelyn. Give her the first place, she moves second place, you give it to your son and then you want another one. You know, we cannot. I will not tolerate, I will not entertain, but you know, the coconut vendors as well, Miriam, it's a good thing you remind me. You know, we are doing things in a manner, we must understand that rats run on coconuts everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere. It's a fact. It's a fact. And so we have to be mindful of all of those things. And we want to bring a certain degree of aesthetic appeal to the city whilst not compromising the health issues that surround the vending of whatever you are selling.
Now, Richard,
so fishermen, please, you all have to concentrate. And when we send you all there, I will give strict instructions. Zot pa mavle person vini kabwe a mita villa ek dizok avan puissant. Please, please, you all will have your area of operation. Don't start encroaching upon the road because my police will just pass and pick it up. Let's do things. We want to make money. It's like somebody went, oh, I not making, so you're not making money. Think outside the box. Don't tell me you want to compromise the whole city, the whole sidewalk, make the place stink, make the place look like a ghetto.
Because you have
to make a dollar. Let's do it properly. You were saying, Albert?
Yeah, Richard, I was saying that in the vending, there must be oversight, and I'll tell you why. Because you're a coconut vendor, man, you dirty and everything. No, present yourself. I want to look over and say, oh, let me go and buy a coconut there because you're well presented, you have your apron and all that kind of thing, and you're doing your business properly. You know, pas just vini tu sala parce que kavan coco, you've said in fit. No, man, present. Come on, guys, present. You don't even have to go overseas now to see what's happening overseas. Because our TVs, you can just sit in your living room and see what's going on, you know. So come on, man, let's have some presentation, you know, proper presentation. Because Richard, I'll tell you, there's some places I will not buy fish. I'll just not buy it. You know, come on, present it up, yeah. Even coconut. You know, sometimes you look at the guy who's selling the coconut, you say, you know, so present, fellas, come on, presentation.
That's all it's about.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not about preventing you from making a dollar. Let us do things in a more cordial, in a manner that does not show we're haphazard in everything we do. You know, this morning, the mayor calls me about 5:30 almost every morning. And she's on her feet very early. So does Mr. Suma Magbra. I have a very, very good team working with. And some of the guys, we clean the market in the night, Albert. By the following morning, some guys come with the fish. They throw the fish water right there. Right there. And this thing starts to smell. When people are coming down, you think, come on. We folks, no. No, it's not about you alone. It's about the country moving forward. And those things, one way or the other, must stop.
Yeah, they must stop, Richard.
So we'll take 5 calls, Albert, before we leave.
Yes, quite so.
I know Val wants you to bring her chicken for her already. That's how we didn't big up Skinny.
But you must big up Skinny, man. How you will not big up Skinny?
I say we have not big up Skinny.
Skinny, well, you had the chicken.
Albert would move a whole lot there.
Yes. Yes. You said by Monte Judo. Mabava, Masuse.
Si Albert vive oubli sa chicken val ka batli. Yeah, so yeah, Mary, we can have a fresh juice stand. I mean, I'm open to many ideas. We are open to all ideas. We have the mobile canteens. They are coming in. And so, you know, I am happy.
Whatever happened to shaved ice? What do we used to call it again? The shaved ice, man. Snow cone.
Snow cone. I don't know.
Whatever happened to that, man?
We'll introduce one. We'll bring it back. We have a caller. Good night. Can I help you?
Well, hello there.
Yeah, Cornelia Jacob there.
Listen to this. How do you say how the la patin chicken break? So Kimanilan chicken.
When la pan chicken break, which means padat you can jouer by la no grab teacher vitma. C'est just ça.
What's this new thing?
So, comment disons ça? Moi vle di moi d'accord avec tout ça au cas de Mr. Richard Frederick. Parce que l'année d'autres vendeuses qui parlent mêlé, pour ça vle ou ka marcher en les sidewalk la street. Yo pas parler pour baoule. Yo pas parler pour baoule.
Cornelia, we had an incident where one person, I will not say where she vends because everybody will know who. But apparently one of the pieces of steel got intermingled with a lady's foot, and the lady, we don't know if the kneecap was displaced, but all I can tell you, there is tremendous swelling caused by a vendor.
But Richard, I want to commend you. Okay, I want to commend you on what you've been doing, especially in Castries Central. Okay, the aesthetic appeal, the murals, the paintings on the buildings, and that place right there in the heart of town, Bido Park. This is just beautiful. Okay, people now have a rush to come through the city. You know, the rush to come through. I hope you get it. You know, I hope you get it. But the government is doing well. The government is doing good things. And let me tell you, Juju Week, that went through in 10.72 seconds. And the Friday itself, 10.88 seconds, and the day was done. The government, and let me tell you, can you believe the hypocrisy? I'm moving fast, eh? The hypocrisy of a man. Your son is the prime minister. You reach in a meeting where he is there, and you as a businessman, your son, you can have a conversation with your son in private, but no.
No, what they were attempting to do, Cornelia, but it backfired. They were attempting to justify the employment of 1,600 Chinese on a project.
Yes.
The hypocrisy of
That's what they were trying to do.
The hypocrisy of these people, and you're crashing
but isn't it
up.
the same man?
Okay, mashing up, walking over minimum wage, And Shasne want to know what Flabo minimum wage should be. Kasa Richard Sebuksa, and let me tell you something, Mr. Frederick. 1,000 acres of land, Mr. Frederick, from Beausejour, with the exception of the airport, but now we know the man bought land right by the airport. It would extend all the way into Bruceville. And if you think it's a lie I make, just go back and check it. The whole of you what was going on. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Cornelia.
No, I checked that, Cornelia. I did the whole of you for. Remember, even whether the fellas playing the football historically, the Dames,
yes,
right, Dames and football, right, all of that had to go. In fact, they were already. They were excavating.
Ready to go?
Yes, they were excavating the thing already and all of that.
Yes.
You don't need to buy me safe, no?
Me safe, no buy. But you may love me anyway.
Of course.
Cecil and Pierre Smith, good night to you. Cheryl Morgan, good night. Brother Elros, good night to you. Thaddeus Promise, thanks very much. Skinny just indicated to me that the Stokewood man, Mr. Gilbert, recently passed away. So that's why we don't have Stokewood. So I will
No, you used to sell ice cream.
Gilbert used to sell ice cream, but he was doing Stokewood as well.
You think Stokewood had gone off the agenda, man?
Really?
No, and we need to put that back on because Stokewood is easy money.
We'll put it back.
Yeah.
I promise you, I guarantee you. Madam Mayor, by the authority vested in me, I am assigning one of those of our carts, mobile carts, as a Stokewood cart. All right? Bring back life to our city, man, in an aesthetically appealing manner. We have another call. Good night. Can I help you? Hello? Oh, we lost that caller. I said, Black Boy, don't put the phone off the hook there. I took at my home to it, Black Boy. Black Boy have a way of putting the phone off the hook and they telling them it's busy. Black Boy, look, Albert Freddy's malpalaying you there on TV. Eh? Everybody, hey.
Black Boy knows exactly what's going on.
Anson Maxwell. Yes, man. Trisha Neptune, good night. Valence Charles. Good night to you, good night, good night, good night. Trisha Neptune, you all have us in that nonsense we are, you know, Jade Wiso. Jade Wiso kininwa by his eye. Jade Wiso have us in that thing, you know. Jade Wiso go and vote for that man there. Yes, yes. Greetings to you, Mikey Henry of Ancillary. Big up boss Lady Allet of Customs. She's always locked on, Allet. You're always locked on. Something wrong with the phone? I rather suspect. Nicola Dovey. Good night, good night. I know you're locked on, not missing a bit. Jagozile, Jagozile, Jagozile. I suspect the phone has a problem.
Well,
it rang and it cut off. Folks, well, let's just close it up.
Yeah, if that be the, yes, it's here.
No, but you know some problems are humanly manufactured. Anyway, Black Boy, let's just call it a day. A night, sorry. Yeah, you say you're ready. I'm not saying anything against me. Folks, it's after 11 and it's only fair that we relieve Black Boy at least. You know, the show is slated between 8:30 and 10. It's after 11. I mean, there was one night we went almost midnight. And off and on, Black Boy has these little tricks of ending the show when he has to go. So, I don't know if that fault was humanly manufactured or through...
Someone said they're going to rush out now. Eh? It's time to rush out.
He said we have a call. Good night, can I help you?
Hey, good night, sir. How you doing?
Hey, well, how you doing, Brother James?
I had a cool. Good show tonight.
What's that?
Good show, good. I said good show tonight as usual.
Yes, man.
Yeah. So I heard all what you said about the economy and Alan Shastley and what have you. I try to figure out if all Alan Shastley does and all of he says is all set to destroy St. Lucia. There's nothing positivity about whatever he says. He's always putting down people and putting down St. Lucia. I try to figure out, are St. Lucians blind and crazy and stupid at the same time? Well, not all St. Lucians, some St. Lucians. Are they just too dumb to see what is happening? And yes, I'll mention his name. You also to mention his Timothy Polio was the one who asked the question. Where is the government getting that $1 million?
Did you hear Timothy Polio ask that?
Yes.
When was that?
He does that. I think it was either Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday.
Wednesday would have been yesterday.
Yeah.
If Timothy Polio asked that and I get the clip, I'll play the clip. And I will enumerate all the kind of largesse, the kind of money Alan Shastney take and give to foreigners. But you're asking where we get the money to give a solution $1 million. Timothy Polio, if you said that, shame on you. And the operative word is it. If you said that, shame on you. And you are showing your true colors now, man. I'm ashamed of you.
Are you showing his true colors now?
But from day one when he said he's neutral, we all know that he has shown his colors. He's a diehard flagger.
You should be ashamed of yourself, Timothy Polio. Supporting a man who wasted our money, who took our money and gave it to foreigners, who gave T.O.R. King permission to open an account, an escrow account, and deposit the proceeds of passport into that account. An account to which neither the government or its people had access apart from T.O.R. King. We don't know how much money went in there. We don't know how much money came out of there. We don't know how much money is left there. Today you have the audacity to ask where $1 million is coming from for a solution.
Not for a St. Lucia. Qualified, not for a St. Lucian. Qualified.
Yeah, St. Lucian was placed us on the map.
Quickly, Richard.
Yes.
I heard Alan Shastney tonight saying about how there was a company that was some CEO of a company that was arrested for the passport thing or whatever it is. And then he said that was the way he's speaking as if like what is being about those criminals or how the Labour Party and the government is aligning those criminals.
Alan Shastney has the audacity to talk. You know, hold on. Met doesn't Monsieur Pakahut. The man, that's the man I'll talk about wasting of resources. That's when we can basically show how we are spending all our money and the impact of how our expenditure is. He will say the country is doing badly when every institution is telling you how well St. Lucia is doing. He has the guts to talk about associating with criminals. What is worse? That same Redrock fella who's now writing all this nonsense wrote endless things about Shastney himself. I have them. And when he started writing on behalf of Flabo, they removed all of the stuff about Shastney from his page.
Yeah.
But they were secured before that.
Because I'm asking the question. You always keep saying that one doesn't have a brain. You mean to tell me Alan Shastney has forgotten all of these things?
But he will forget out of political convenience.
Understand?
But according to Bernard Haynes, that will be for another show.
Yeah,
that will be for another show.
But he's a hell of an idiot.
All right. Good. I mean, you talk about this government wasting money. You talk about the associative criminals. Ray Joke has been to prison. Okay?
For financial crimes.
For financial crime, money laundering and blah, blah, blah. He admitted he was taking drug traffickers' monies and assisting them and blah, blah, blah. He went to prison. Malpinez went to prison in two different continents.
Yes.
Shine went to prison. Jack Lam is now in prison.
Yes.
You know, all the man's characters.
He associates very well with criminals.
Yeah, you know, and you have the audacity to talk about. Anyway, I'll deal with that on another show. Let's just wrap up. We have one more call. You want to take one more? The phone line is giving some problems, folks.
Yeah, it's got a black boy issue.
It has a black boy issue. Black boy, you heard what Albert said? I know you don't listen when we're on this side. All right, Albert, your closing words?
Yes, Richard, I think there are lots of stuff that we didn't deal with.
Touch on, yes.
Yes, but...
shout out Austina Fanis, man.
Yes, Austina, you shouted her anyway.
Oh, I did?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, but good night, Austina. Yes, okay. Austina Fanis, good night. But yes, there's a lot to deal with, but we touched on some matters there tonight. And of course, we had our juju jubilation.
Yeah, indeed. We
You
need
know,
to.
and it has to continue. So thanks very much for tuning in, people. The phone is ringing. Yeah.
The phone is ringing now.
Yeah, take the last call.
All right, let's take the last call. Good night, can I help you? Ay. Okay, please. Spare my ear. So, spare my ear. All right, thank you very much. All right, Laura Peter, good night to you. Dina Andrew, good night. Roberta Shamari, good night. So, Albert, you have said your piece. Let me just say that I know the country is in good hands. I know we are doing well. All the statistics are pointing in one direction, that the economic trajectory of St. Lucia is on the upward thing. So we cannot permit our country to regress. 1 minute. We cannot go back where we were. The ECCB and other institutions are saying St. Lucia is in safe hands, and even to suggest that at the rate we are going, we can double the economy in 10 years seems quite a lot.
Hey, ignorance. You know, when Mr. Timothy Antoine was doing his delivery and so on, somebody said,
attacked the man, you know.
Yes, and said that the SLP brought their governor.
And that is ignorance.
That is gold.
Top shelf ignorance.
Definitely top shelf.
Top shelf ignorance. How can when the governor or the ECCB releases data, it does not release data on St. Lucia alone. It releases data on the member states of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Okay, on all of them, those that carry the same currency. They release data on all of them. What you do is you extrapolate or you extract the data as it relates to your country, and they would make comparisons in the former years and compare it to now to tell you the trajectory on which the country is. That's how they do it. So it is not something that they did for St. Lucia. It was done for the entire Eastern Caribbean. So stop being ignorant. You all 43%ers, you all have a long way to go. I can tell you this, the people of St. Lucia are no longer stupid. The people of St. Lucia are seeing right through you all. And that was evident in your poor turnout in the boulevard. Not even when I was in Flabo, that amount of people, I would have said chups and got my home. Okay? I would have turned my back and go home. So you all are not doing well. The country is doing well. And I don't think the average St. Lucian will settle for the gibberish, the nonsensical, the spews that come from your mouths. Most of it BS. Most of it BS that defy factuality. So, folks, we are not going back. If ECCB can say we can double our economy in 10 years, let's continue with this government and let's double our economy. So, folks, as I've always said, if God has blessed you, no one can curse you. Again, let me wish all teachers a happy Teachers Week. Happy Teachers Appreciation Week. Live clean, because what you sow, you are bound to reap. And be careful of the pit that you dig for others. It may just be your own. I'm Richard Frederick. I'm out of here. See you next Thursday, God willing. Good night.
You're watching MBC.
Maybe